We're here at Central Missouri Speedway, and I have got the points leader in the ULMA late model division here. And this is John Melloway. And what was your hometown again?
Hallsville, Missouri.
And where's that at?
It's about 15 miles north of Columbia. It's just a little dot on the map.
It's funny, but of course I've said before, I think a lot of times it's the guys that maybe grew up on a farm or were around a lot of machinery or whatever. They pick up on this racing stuff pretty good. Was that your case, or would you grow up in town? Or
No, well, I was out of town, but I'm a third-generation driver. My grandpa ran late models and modifieds, and then my dad raced, and so it's kind of a family tradition. My brother also races, David Melloway, and we've been doing it since we were both 16 years old.
And you were telling me you've done a couple other classes. You went through the modifieds and some other stuff. What kind of experience did you come from as far as that goes?
Started off in the B mods and then went to A mods for a while, and switched back to B mods for about 3 years. Switched over to late models 3 years ago, and really enjoy the ULMA class. A lot of clean driving, a lot of fun. Glad we can come to tracks like this and race. So 3 years in the late models, and don't plan on switching anytime soon.
I was going to say, this particular series just keeps getting better. I think when it first kind of started out, I'm not going to say people looked down on it, because they didn't look down on it, but I think they thought it might be just a little bit lower division of racing. But man, there's some guys that still are putting some big money in these cars, and you got to be pretty proud to be leading the points on this deal, because like I say, man, there's some good competition, good cars, good drivers.
Yes, there's a lot of good cars, and I've only got 2 wins on the season, but I know what I'm running against, and when I outrun those guys, it's a lot of fun knowing what they have in their car and what I have in mine. So mine's significantly less than most of the other cars.
Don't worry, they can hear us as long as I hold this microphone close. I don't know if you can or not. But anyway, how big of a point lead do you have over, Todd McCoy?
Only 8 points over Todd. That could change tonight. If I have a bad night, he could come out of here leading. Todd and I are good friends. It's been fun points racing against him, just very stressful. So I'm kind of glad to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We got tonight and then tomorrow at Moberly, which is one of my stronger tracks. So I'm looking forward to just trying to get a solid finish tonight and then go into my home track tomorrow.
You must like those big tracks with them big corners. I mean, they're, again, big track like that, probably a big motor deal too. So tell you what, tell us a little bit about the car. What kind of chassis are you running, and who's making the power for you?
Creason Racing Engines is who has got the power plant, and it's a 2011 GRT I picked up out of Arkansas. Got a really good deal on it. It was pretty much a bare roller. Yeah. Switched all my stuff from my other car over to it, and it's been a real good one. Glad that I snatched it up.
I shouldn't probably say this, but I think there's probably going to be a lot more GRTs and whatever out there with these black diamonds coming out, because I was at the Lakeside last night for the series up there, MLRA, and gee whiz, I couldn't tell you how many drivers had them black diamonds. In fact, top 3 that at one point were all black diamonds. But anyway, leading the points for the ULMA. Going to have some fun here tonight at Central Missouri. All I can tell you is, let's have some fun, man. Go out there and go for it. Forget about them points. Ha, 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 ha.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you. All
right. Got the second place. Got Todd McCoy in here, and Todd is second in the points with ULMA. Todd, man, it's a close race. I understand only like 8 points between you and John over here.
Yeah, it was a little bit closer than last weekend. He won the race, and I took 4th. So he opened it back up to 8 points. We were just 4. We're pretty competitive against one another. We always have been since he started racing late models. I just got to see what happens tonight, see if I can do first or second. And if I can take second, I've tied with him, and if I take first, I've beaten him by 2 points. Yeah. Then we'll have to go to Moberly and battle it out.
I was going to say, just 2 weeks ago, this is really down to crunch time. Sounds like you guys, like you say, have had a good competitive summer with each other. What about CMS? Have you had some good luck down there?
Yeah, the last 2 races I've taken second. The first night we started up here, I had a new car, and just hadn't quite figured it out yet. We didn't do much practicing with it. But the last 2 weeks has been, or the last 2 times we've been up here, we've been pretty lucky. Had it won last time we were here, and 3 or 4 to go, and Jason got around me on the outside with three laps ago or something, 2 laps ago. But it was still a pretty fun race.
I was going to say, there's no gimmies in this deal. You got to win it. Nobody's going to give it to you. But looking forward to the night. Looks like the track so far is really kind of wet down on the inside. So what's that going to mean by main time? Does that mean it's going to be fast down there, or what's that mean?
It'll be fast by the time the features get around. It's just trying to get through the heat races at this point. It's pretty greasy out there right now, so I don't know what's going to happen. They probably ought to be getting all these cars back out there to pack it back in some more, but because it's going to get pretty wild, I think, in the heat races. But if we can make it through the heat race and do okay there, we'll be all right in the feature.
Did you draw good on the heat? I mean, are you going to be up front? Or?
I'm on a second heat on the pole, which I'd rather be on the outside at this point, but I'll take what I can get, I guess, and at least I'm on the front row. That'll help me some. So we'll see what happens in the heats, and like I said, it's pretty competitive. This ULMA class is pretty competitive, and we all get along. That's a good thing. So we have fun.
Going to be 18 tonight. Also, that might play into it a little bit later on too. It might be some lap traffic to deal with there in the closing laps of that A main.
Yeah, we've had 19 the last 2 nights that we've been up here. So yeah, it'll come in play at some point in time, unless there's cautions, of course. But if it runs green for a while, yeah, they'll be a big part of it. So we'll just have to see what we can do. Just hopefully the track gets ironed in here before that happens. So we'll see.
Once again, second in the points, Todd McCoyne, and only 8 points separate these guys. So, man, it's really going to be crunch time when you get down to the feature and 2 nights to go. Thanks a lot.
You bet. No problem.
Well, we've actually got the 4th place finisher in the points so far for the ULMA. And like I told Dustin, he inherited an interview, by the way, Dustin Hodges here, and he's in 4th place, but 3rd place isn't here tonight. Here he's got it cinched up, so I guess you're not really going to be moving up. But Rookie of the Year also here running with the ULMA.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good season, our rookie year. Actually picked up a couple wins, so definitely didn't think that was going to happen. So we're pretty excited about that, and hopefully just looking forward to next year and see what we can do.
I was going to say, man, you got to be happy with that, having a couple of wins in your first year, because as I've said probably at least already 2 or 3 times tonight, there's no gimmies here. And there's no slouches, so you've got to earn what you get.
Yeah, no, that's definitely for sure, especially with the guys that we're running against. I never would have dreamt our rookie season we'd have picked something up, first time in one of these cars. So, no, it's been a real good year, and hopefully looking forward to next year, see if we can't do something even a little better.
Where did you come from to get where you are here? What were you racing before you got in the late model?
I was actually running modifieds, and then I got approached by Larry Wynn to drive his late model for him, and couldn't pass up the opportunity, and I think now I'm hooked. They're a good time.
I was going to say, who would pass up a late model? I mean, gee whiz, a lot more power, bigger tires. And I was talking to somebody last night at Lakeside, and they was telling me it's just way faster. All your reaction times are faster. It's got to be a real thrill.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely right. That's why I tell everybody, working on it, it's a little more of a pain, but there's nothing like driving one. The added speed, just like you said, with the bigger tires, it's definitely a rush. I enjoy it.
Well, and you get that chance to go down there to Moberly. Man, that high bank track, that's got to be some fun down there to run one of these.
Yeah, it is fun. You know, I'm not a real big half-mile guy. I like the small, tight, technical stuff, but I do enjoy getting up there. I don't notice too much of the speed difference. I like the little tracks. They're a lot funner to me. I like all the moving pieces a little more.
I was going to say, stuff happens pretty quick there, too. But anyway, I'm looking forward to having a good time tonight. Dustin, let's go out there, and looking forward to you guys doing it. So have fun, man.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
ULMA late models, side by side, 8 laps. Here we go. So Melloway, your early race leader here in heat race number 1. Again, a close battle for these guys between Melloway and McCoyne. But Melloway, the early race leader, Bob King, and Lane Ellert, your top 3 cars at this moment. High side there for Melloway as they come down into 3 and 4. Bob King trying to make a run on a turn number 4. Ellert right on his tail in heat race number 1. for your ULMA late models here at Central Missouri Speedway tonight. This is their second to last points race with Melloway up at the top spot, just 8 points in front of Todd McCoy. He'll be in the next heat race. So John Melloway, your race leader, your top 3 cars here in heat race number 1 with the ULMA late models. Bob King hanging on to that second spot. Lane Ellert in third. Dave Miller in that 4th spot as they get side by side coming out of turn number 4 with the 23 of Holtkamp. So John Melloway, your early race leader here tonight. Oh, as he slides up high side in 1 and 2. Hangs on to it though. Melloway does have 2 heat wins here this year at Central Missouri Speedway. This will be 3rd if he can hang on here. So Melloway King now putting some pressure on Bob King in the 45, but John Melloway, he'll take heat race number 1. Melloway, it'll be King. Lane Ellert in the 42. Followed by the 8 of Dave Miller. Holtkamp in the 23. Richwine going off in the 42 car. So John Melloway, his 3rd heat win here this year. Bob King in that 2nd spot. Lane Ellert in the 42 car. And, of course, the number 8 of Dave Miller and Cody Holtkamp. That is heat race number 1 for the front row. Who's it going to be? Here we go. Benning makes the quick move on the high side to into turns 3 and 4. McCoy just behind him with Josh Poe. In the 4, it's Wesley Briggs and Jimmy Job as they cross on lap number 1 here. Heat race number 2, ULMA late models. John Benning right now your race leader. Todd McCoy in that 2nd spot. Poe now used to race in a modified in a late model here late in the season. Josh Poe in that black and white number 4, but John Benning comes across as your race leader. John with 1 heat race win earlier here this season, also with a feature win as well. Heat race number 2 with your ULMA late models. Right now, Benning, as he starts to pull away from the field, with McCoy in that 2nd spot. Josh Poe still in 3rd. It'll be Wesley Briggs and the 54 of Jimmy Job. This was set up. We do use the passing points system here at Central Missouri Speedway with your late models. And with all of our classes here each and every week, everybody will make the feature event here tonight, including all 28 of the modifieds. White flag does come out on lap number 7 with John Benning, your race leader. Wesley Briggs, and he stops as he tries to get up to the hot pit lane. He does, so that will give John Benning the win here in heat race 2. McCoy, Josh Poe, the top 3 cars. That was a little bit scary on the backside as Briggs pulled off on the track. But your winner of heat race number 2, it's the 65 of John Benning, the 7X of Todd McCoy. It looks like there's some problems back there with Jimmy Job in the 54. So Todd McCoy in that 2nd spot. It'll be Josh Poe in the 4. Then Jimmy Job in the 54. It looks like he's going to head off there and race with us again. They'll conclude their points season tomorrow night. But right now here tonight we have Kidder, we have Cummings on the front row. There we go. Hodges at 22 goes to the high side. Cummings. They get side by side coming out of turn 4. John O'Neill again Tough night there for the number 4 Ketterer as he gets Dustin Hodges, though, coming up into turns 3 and 4. Cummins a race leader. Hodges in that second spot. John O'Neill in the 1X as he gets low side. He runs it through. Turns 1 and 2 there. Cummings got high and got loose on turn 2, so that gave the door and opened it up for John O'Neill. O'Neill with Hodges, your Rookie of the Year leader in the 22H in that second spot. Now Jason Bodenhammer. Bodenhammer now in that red number 7 tonight. So O'Neill, Hodges, Bodenhammer, now Bobby Penny, Cummings, then Ketterer in the 4 machine. White flag will come out this next time across for your race leader, John O'Neill, in the 1X tonight. So O'Neill, Hodges, Bodenhammer, your top 3 with, problems on the 22 of Hodges as he comes to a stop here on the front side. That'll bring out the yellow. So we'll check on this particular finish for this particular race. That will be a checkered flag. So that'll move Bodenhammer up into the second spot with Bobby Penny in 3rd. Cummings will actually take that 4th spot. Ketterer, and then Hodges with a problem there as he had to pull off. Feature event for your ULMA late models here tonight at Central Missouri Speedway. So Benning, Bodenhammer will lead them down into turns 3 and 4 for a complete restart. ULMA late models, here we go into turn number 4. Pick out your favorite driver as the green flag flies. There we go. Looks like Benning learned on that first start. He immediately went to the top side of the track, so John Benning, looks like Bodenhammer will be just in behind him. Melloway in that 3rd spot. Bob King in 4th as the yellow flag comes out here again. Yellow flag comes out here again for a car, looks like up over turn number 4. All right, so John Benning, 1 lap or so down here. Brings him around turn number 4. Green flag flies. John Benning, your race leader. Battle for the 2nd spot now on this restart from Benning. Bodenhammer in that 2nd spot. Here comes the 4 car. Josh Poe. He's in a battle here with the 74 Melloway. Melloway still in that spot with the 45 of Bob King behind them. And then Lane Ellard in the 42. So your top cars, Benning, Bodenhammer in that 2nd spot, Melloway in the 3rd position now, Josh Poe. So good battle up front between your top 4 to 5 cars. As Cody Holtkamp tries to get a nose in down low coming into 2. He and Bobby Penny fighting for that spot. But still your race leader, John Benning. Bodenhammer in the 2nd spot. Still Melloway. Now Holtkamp as the yellow flag comes out here on the front stretch. As Ketterer gets in the number 4 car goes the wrong direction. That's not the way you want to be pointed. So that's why you see the single file. John Benning leading him down the front stretch. So John Benning on the restart. Makes a nice run there on the backside. Benning looking strong up here tonight in that number 1 position again. Bodenhammer now goes to the low side. battle for that third spot between Melloway and Josh Poe in the number 4 car. And here comes Bob King, still in that top 5. Low line and a high line here developing now. The 42 now of Lane Ellert moves up into the top 5. Now Benning and Bodenhammer. There's a battle for the top spot here right now. As you can see that low line coming in. Side-by-side action as the 74 Melloway gets loose up in turn 2. He loses 2 spots. But still your race leader Benning in the 65. Now the 42 of Lane Ellert up into that third spot. He's battling there with Josh Poe. Poe takes that position back away. Holtkamp in behind those guys, and then Melloway. Your top 6 cars here at Central Missouri Speedway ULMA late models. Good battle up front. Benning side by side with Jason Bodenhammer in the 7 car tonight. That's actually Wesley Briggs. Was a backup car, I believe, for Wesley. Here comes Bodenhammer as he motors out of turn number 2. New race leader here. It'll be the 7 of Jason Bodenhammer. Benning now into that second spot. Here comes Lane Ellert. Good battle for 3rd and 4th between Ellert and the 4 of Poe as he goes high side now. And now the 23 of Holtkamp moves up a spot. So Cody Holtkamp, and now some big problems on the 7 of Jason Bodenhammer. Looks like that engine is going. A lot of smoke coming out of the 7 of Jason Bodenhammer, your race leader. Jason Bodenhammer, your race leader, going up in smoke, and he's going to have to pull off the track. Jason Bodenhammer with some problems. Now Wesley Briggs comes to the on the backside, and he slows down as well. So the 7 of Jason Bodenhammer as he's going up in smoke. That gives the lead back to the 65 of John Benning. Bodenhammer up in smoke on the backside, so Benning takes that lead back away as he comes almost to a complete stop up there. So now all the way back to Cody Holtkamp in the 2nd spot. Lane Ellert now still in 3rd. There's a battle back there. And here comes John Melloway as he moves up into the 4th spot ahead of Josh Poe and also the 45 of Bob King. And Bob King goes around in turn number 1 and 2. That brings out the yellow flag. So Bob King in the number 45, he was battling up into that top 5 position, but he goes around up in turn number 2. So again, tough break for the race leader of Jason Bodenhammer as he goes up in smoke and goes off the track. The green flag is furled from Herschel Thompson. And here we go. Your ULMA late models back on the track with John Melloway trying to capture a ULMA championship in that 74 car in the 4th spot here tonight. But your leader right now on the restart with a 65 of John Benning. So it's Benning, Holtkamp in the 23. It's that 42 of Ellert, Melloway, and Josh Poe, your top 5 cars. Now the 22 of Kevin the Kid Coyne. 22 pulls off the track, so Kevin Coyne done for the night. Late in the race here as the white flag comes out for your race leader, John Benning, on lap number 19. This will be his 2nd feature win of the year. He's out of Warrensburg, the 65 of John Benning. Holtkamp in the 2nd spot, the 42 of Ellert, the 74 of Melloway, the 4 of Josh Poe, Penny in that 16 car behind him. So your winner tonight from Warrensburg in the 65, it's John Benning.
Benning, your winner here tonight in the ULMA late models. Victory number 2 here at the Berg this year. Happy Crew coming over to greet him. Johnny boy, congratulations, sir. Did you get my text earlier?
Yes, I did. Thank
Okay.
you. Did you get mine?
All right, yes. I won't repeat what you sent me,
Okay.
though. Good job out there. I heard you say if you thought the line was coming on the low side, you'd have been down there a little sooner.
Yeah, I was watching the other races, and it looked like everybody was on top. And before we started this race, still looked a little greasy down there. But then when I saw Bodie there, I was like, oh no, I can't just run over him. So
Good race there with your old buddy until he went up in smoke.
yeah,
Looked like
that's
he was
too
running
bad.
her
I
hard.
hate that. But he had that car working good. I drove that car here in practice one time. That is a good car.
Well, man, I know it wasn't the year you wanted to have, but you got some nice victories, and it's a good way to end it up for you this year.
Yep. I've told people it's like the real Ricky Bobby story. We're either winning or wrecking. And I'm just glad that we got to come here to get things squared away. It's great.
Way to wrap it up. John Benning, your ULMA late model winner.
I got to say thank you to all my sponsors, but I rarely get to thank the guys that's helped me all year through all this. It's just been a crazy year, and we've put this car together from ground up twice. So thank you, everybody on my crew. You know who you are.
Celebrate it with him, crew. John Benning, your ULMA late model winner tonight.